Hello, this is Nephi Wolf with NCSI, and this is our last video in the extraction series. In this video, we're going to be going over publishing and scheduling. So we'll show you how you can publish different dashboards and folders and how you can schedule them. So let's see, as we open this up here, this user here is an administrator. You can come into the user administration, and I'm logged in as admin guy. So there's admin guy here, and then I have a test user, super guy, who's logged into another browser window. So I want to show you here that when you have all these settings over here. If you want them to be able to make changes to start off with, you'll need to give them the designer and then either private design or enterprise designer, and you'll also need to give them the dashboard. And so I want to show you if we give them just designer, private designer, then we'll switch over to this user here. So this user can see their folders, and they can see the shared folders, so everything that's been made public. And as they go in and look at these reports, then they can go in and they can modify them. So they could go in and they could take a look at this report here. They could save a copy of it. They can make changes to, because we have made them private designer, then this user can't move these reports. But if we make them an enterprise designer, I'll just show you that real quick. I'll come over here and refresh. It looks the same, mostly. So as they go in and they're editing this report, they can save and they can move. And I'll just show you as well. As a private designer, you can see my folders, and you could save it to my folders. And then when you come in here, if you save it if they're given the designer privilege, then they can see the shared folders. They can save things in the shared folders. And then the enterprise designer gives them access to the other users' folders as well. So there's those three different levels. And this is a dashboard. And so that's why we came in and we checked this checkbox for dashboard. Documents are also the same thing, where they can see those three different levels of design or three different levels of folders. So when you come in and you give them that access, another thing that they can do is with that enterprise access, then they can see all the different levels. So the enterprise designer, they can see the shared folders, they can see the user folders, and you can come in here and you can add folders. And with the folders, so we could just call this one test, and we can make it public so everyone can see it. So there's that test folder. And actually, I probably shouldn't have done that because this one is a private one. So if we go and edit this one is not public, so not everybody has access to that. So you wouldn't want to create a public folder underneath a private folder. But as you do that, as you come in here, you can edit the folder. You can grant access to everyone, or you can add users who have access to it, or groups. And with the groups, where those come into play, if we come back over to this one here, so if we were to click on the administration and user administration, we can come over here and we have these groups, and we can set up the groups here. So we have the supers, which is just our super guy, report admins, and then the not so supers. So we can put people in those groups and organize it that way. And then on the folder permissions, then we can come down here and we can add a group so that just the report admins can see that. And then we can see how the icon changes there. So we have the groups, the users, we can create the folders here. So again, the folder levels, that's just based off of, as we come in here, based off of this level. Private designer, they can only see my folder. The designer can see all of them, can see all of the shared folders, and the enterprise designer can see all the shared folders and all of the user's personal folders. So that'll give them, when this person comes in here, they can create new folders, and that'll give them the permissions to create and save things to different locations. With the users as well, as we come in here, so we're looking at the super guy user, there's this checkbox. So if you ever, by default, anybody that comes to the extraction website will get, and I'll open up the extraction settings here. Let's see. To the extraction settings. Let's see. We have these checkboxes here. So the default roles, this will give them, the different permissions that they have. When a user logs in for the first time, they will get whatever is checked off here. And so a brand new user would get those settings. So everybody can log in. Whenever somebody connects to this website, it will automatically log them in and give them those default permissions. But you may find that you don't want somebody to log in. For some reason, you want to block their access. So you can always uncheck this active checkbox on the user. And so then super guy is no longer active. And so if we come over here and refresh, then it should supposed to log them out or tell them that they can't. Let's double check that. Super guy is not active. So maybe we have to log out and log back in, but yeah, okay. So if we log out, we've got to log back in. There we go. So it'll block your login. So by default, everybody can get access to the extraction website, but you can always then revoke their permissions in the user settings there. So let's see. Again, okay, so the user can log in. And so there's also a setting here that you can grant them called scheduler, and that'll be the next thing that we look at. So we'll give that user the scheduler permission, and then we'll switch back over. And so with that scheduler permission, now there's this scheduled tasks icon here. And also, so we can come in here and we can look at all these different folders. And we can just look at one of these reports. Actually, let's find something that actually does have data. Input manager. Okay, there's some data. So as you're looking at a dashboard here, with that schedule permission, then you can come in here and you can schedule this dashboard. So you can schedule this dashboard, you can send it out, you can send it, when you first open up these settings, you can send it as a Word document, as an HTML page, Excel. So these different settings, if you send it as a Word document, it'll put screenshots of each one of these items on a new page. So you'll get 6 screenshots, 6 pages of information. If you have a list, like maybe you have a list of open incidents or incidents closed by user each day, and you get emailed that at the end of the day, something like that. Maybe you want an Excel document because you'll just have all of the columns there. So you have these different formats that you can choose from. You can show the notes if you've added any notes to any of those, table data, links to those, and then you can choose the schedule. So how often do you want this to run? Do you want this to run every day? Do you want this to run every week on like a Friday? And then you can set the time, so maybe Friday at the end of the day. Do you want it to run this monthly on the first day of the month or every quarter on the first day of the quarter? So you can come in here and you can change all these settings, timer, so you can do it every so often. So you'll email the report or export the report. So you can run that every so often, every 60 days, 60 minutes. And then the delivery. So you can save these reports on the extraction server. You can save them on the file system, so you can actually put it on a file on the hard drive. So you can save these reports to a file on the hard drive, or you can email them. And I'm going to segue for just a second. In the extraction settings, when you're setting up extraction, there's this email tab. And so you can set up an extraction email account. and you can configure the email here, and that's what will be used here to send those emails. So you can put in the two, who's going to get it, the subject, the body. Make sure that you put the file name, so this will be what's attached to that email. And then if you're going to be sending this out on a regular basis, you could check this checkbox to append a file stamp, a date stamp. So this could be like weekly status report. And then on the end, so the file would be called weekly status report.xlsx. But then it would also have like 2024 0101. So just append that. So every week you get a new file, and you can then save those off or something. So you're able to schedule these. You can schedule these reports here. And we'll need something test.com. So we schedule it, and then we can come over here, and we can see all these different scheduled reports. So these are all the ones that are scheduled. You can see the ones that just you've created. So if you have multiple people working in there, you can see the ones that just you've created. And then down here, you can see if they've run. So you can see these different reports, like when they've run. And another thing to note is that these reports, these are sent by the Xtraction Task Manager Windows service. So I've had some customers before where they patch their devices, and we have this set up for like a delayed restart. And actually, yeah, you do want to make sure that's automatic. In my case, in my lab, I don't care as much, but in your environments, you want to make sure that's automatic. And you'll want to check on that every so often, or set up some kind of a task, because if this service does stop, then no more emails will get sent. And so I have just seen issues where some customers patch their servers, and when it reboots, for some reason, the service doesn't start. So if you could have something like monitoring that, just to make sure that it does start the service. So you'll schedule your reports here, and you can, if you double click, it doesn't do anything. So you need to right click, and you can see the task history. You can see how many times that report has been run. You can edit the task, you can pause it. So it's still here, but it's just not going to run it every day. And editing the task just brings up the same window, or you can go in and you can change the settings here. Change the schedule and the delivery. So with that, that's how you can go in and you can send out those reports. So you can email those reports. You can save them to just a location on the hard drive, or you can add them to Xtraction. There's a reports tool, so you can look at like the historical reports in Xtraction. So that's how you can go through and schedule those. So hopefully you find that information useful, and hopefully you found this video series useful. We've gone through a lot of different details on Xtraction, and if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'd love to help you out with Xtraction, or if you can think of any other things that you would like to see in the video, just let us know, or any other videos on Xtraction, because we'd love to help you out with that and show you some more information with that. So again, my name is Nephi Wolf, and I'm with NCSI, and I hope you've enjoyed this video series.